Hi, I'm Tara. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a suite of templates or signs for your Airbnb property. If you feel that you just like the template, you can find the link below that'll bring you to Gumroad. So let's get going. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on custom size, and we're looking for an 8.5 by 11 inches. So it's usually defaulted to pics, so you just want it to be in inches. Alternatively, you can do it as an A4 or an A5, depends where you are in the world, but the standard default for USA is 8.5 11. So we just click on create new design. So the first one we're going to do is a welcome to our home. So we need a text box first. So if you click on text and add a text box, alternatively you can just hit T on your keyboard, it will give you the same result. So we're just going to bring that to the top and we're going to center it. You can either wait for the center line to appear, or you can click on position and you can click on center there. So we're just going to change that to welcome. And we are going to increase the size of it. So this would sit maybe on your entrance hall, or you could put it in a frame and put it on a table on your entrance hall. So everything that I'm going to use today is all part of free Canva. So that means if you do download the template below, that you don't actually have to sign up and pay for Canva. It's completely free. So the first one we're going to pick is Miss Truly. It's kind of a nice font. And then we are going to add another text box. And it usually just defaults to the font that you have just used. So again, we're going to center it and we're going to write to our home. So welcome to our home. And then I'm just going to duplicate that. And we're just going to have a kind of friendly message. Increase the size of it. And we're going to change the font actually just to a sans serif. So we're going to use Glacial Indifference because it is also part of free Canva. Just going to reduce the size of it, and we're going to say step inside, relax, and leave your cares behind. So obviously that's enormous, so we need to just reduce it down. And we just need to stretch the sides just so the last line is on one line. So it might just be still slightly big. So we'll just make it 48. Okay, and now we're going to go to elements and we're just going to search for, in graphics, we're going to search for a house key. So I'm just going to click on the filter and I'm going to select free, just so we're not tempted to use a pro version. So that one is quite nice, but let's just see. Yeah, I think we'll go with this one, but obviously you can go with whatever ones you want. I'm going to do this whole suite in black and white, and the reason I'm going to do that is because, well, black and white obviously is cheaper to print for a start. Sometimes it depends as well, if you're sending these out to be printed, well then, obviously cost, which is more expensive to do it in color and black and white. Sometimes the cost is actually very minimal between the two, but if you're doing them at home, they can just eat your ink, and it's sometimes better and kind of classier sometimes to do them just in black and white. So that's why there's no color. So then I'm just gonna put a little swish line maybe underneath, and click on graphics again, and we're just going to go with this one. And we're just going to reduce it down. And there's the first one done already. So like within, we're going to fly through these, and within the space of an hour, you could be up and running with all of these signs. So the next one, we're just going to go to the top and we're going to duplicate page. And the reason we do that is because we want to use the same kind of fonts and style throughout, because otherwise it'll look a bit crazy throughout your house if you have all these different fonts used and they all look kind of different. But this gives a kind of cohesion to it. So that's why we'll just duplicate it. So this one we're going to do is the Wi-Fi one. So Wi-Fi, and just going to say is available. Is available. And then the only thing we have to do on this one is we need to write network. And so this obviously depends on what your network is. So I'm just going to call it AirHome1, but obviously you decide whatever it is that your network is called. Just going to make that bold. And then we're just going to duplicate that. So it's on the same line. Hold shift and bring it across. And then this one is going to say password. And we're just going to say guest one. Or as I say, whatever it is that your Wi-Fi password is. And then this, we are going to go over to elements again. And we're going to look for Wi-Fi. And then we're going to look in graphics. And again, we're going to go free. I think there was one there actually. I probably should have just clicked on it. So we'll go for the curly one with the rounded edges as opposed to the straight one. It's kind of a bit nicer. So we're just going to remove the key. And we're just going to grab these two, network and password, and just drag them down. And we're just going to make that a bit bigger. So, like, usually this is the first thing that everyone looks for as soon as they arrive at a property. It's become like, essential to life nearly. So although this is 8.511, it doesn't necessarily need to be 8.511. You could ask your printer, or you could set your printer to print at 50%. But as I say, it's something that everyone looks for as soon as they arrive anywhere, as especially if you have younger people with you. So it's important that it's like front and center in your property. So again, I'm just going to duplicate that page, and the next one I'm going to do is a kind of a rule. So this may not be the case for your property. So I'm just going to change this one to the glacial indifference. And I'm just going to move that one down there for a sec. And we're going to delete that. So this one, we're going to say, please, no smoking. No smoking or vaping, because sometimes you have to tell people. And then we're going to just duplicate that. And we're going to say indoors. I'll delete one of them, make this centered, and we're just going to say thank you. Going to take the bold off that, and we're going to make it back to the Miss Truly. So just move that down, and then so this is probably just a little too large. And I'm just going to tilt that. And then we're just going to look for we're going to go over to elements, look in graphics for a no smoking sign. And there's one there. It's in white, so we just need to change the color of it to black. So as I say, this may not be a rule at your property. Like, you may be happy enough for people to smoke at your property, but if if you feel the need to put a sign up, that's fine. So the next one I'm going to do is a meet your hosts. So we're just going to duplicate that, and we're going to say, and select all of that, and we're just going to say hosts, and we're just going to change this to meet your hosts. And then I'm just going to change this right down to about 20, and I got ChatGPT to generate this, which is basically a, welcome to our home. And so it says, we're thrilled to have you here and can't wait to make your stay unforgettable. Allow us to introduce ourselves. We are, and then you put your names in there. So you basically just select in there, you get rid of the square brackets, your hosts and your new friends during your time with us. So I'm just going to stretch that out a little. I'm going to get rid of this no smoking sign. And then we are going to, so you're going to replace this with your actual name. And we're just going to duplicate that. And we're going to have cell number and email address. So you're just going to edit them to whatever your two number and address is. Just going to put that under your name. And then we're going to click on elements, and we're just going to add a shape. So we're just going to add a square. So just put that there like that. And we're just going to make it grey, because then, as I say, you don't run into a problem with printing. And even at that, it might be just a little too dark. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to click on elements, and we're going to look for frames. And we're going to look at see all. And basically you just pick any frame that you feel, like you might like this one here, or you might just want to stick with a square or one that has rounded corners. Or there are other ones actually that are kind of nice. So just see, can I find one? They're like a kind of paint swish. That's it there. So hold on, we'll just delete that. And let's reduce that. And then I'll just show you what it would look like. We're looking for photos, and we'll just key in couple, and that one there is kind of nice. So so obviously this will be you and your partner, or maybe just you if it's purely your property. So so that one there might be nice. So you basically just click on it, and you click and hold, move over the frame, and it sits in the frame. So then when you double click on it, you can move it within the frame to get it kind of centered. You just do this, which is pretty cool. It looks kind of nice and friendly for your guest arriving. So then we just have this space here. So if there's something kind of famous in your town, you could maybe put a picture of it here, or depends where it is. If it's at the beach, maybe put a picture of the beach, or in the mountains. But I went to ChatGPT and just got them to write another little piece of information. So just need to change the font to Glacial Indifference, and just going to move the side in, and I'm just going to position it there. I'm just going to change the alignment to the left, and I might change the alignment on that one as well actually. So it's just basically like, you know, we hope that you have a really good stay, and if you need any recommendations or assistance, simply just call. So, and that's where your cell number and your email address comes in. So, and that's another template done. So we're just going to duplicate page again. And when we've duplicated this again is, just going to delete them. And this again is very dependent on your house. So this is, please, and we're just going to center this, and we're going to ask them to remove their shoes. But again, this is very much, obviously it depends on whether you want them to remove their shoes or not. I mean, yes, if you live beside the beach and you don't want sand throughout your property, or, you know, you live in the woods and it's, you know, it's a muddy time of year, well then I definitely would recommend that you ask them to remove remove their shoes. So we're just going to duplicate the please, and we're going to take the angle off it. So we're just going to make it back to 0, and we're just going to write thank you. And then we're going to click on elements, and we're going to look for sneakers. So again, we're going to click on free, and we are going to look in graphics, and lots of them are colored for a start. So again, that's up to you whether you want to have colored signs. Lots of them you can actually change, but that one is not, that's an actual image. So I think I'm going to go with this one, which is kind of cool. And because it's only one, like, so you could go to the top and you could change that to a different color. So some images you can change the color of them, and some you can't. So you can change the color of that to pink. But anyway, I'm not going to do that. I just was going to show you how to do that. So we're going to make it black, and just to make it look like a pair of shoes, we're just going to duplicate that, and we're just going to move it down slightly so it looks like two shoes sitting together. And once again, there is another sign complete. So I'm going to duplicate. And the next one I'm going to do is to do with pets and animals. So as I say, you might not allow any pets at your property, but if you are, you probably need to just have some kind of guidance in place, because otherwise you come back and God knows what it'd be like. So we're just going to call this Pet Rules, and just have that less of an angle. And I'm just going to delete these, and just going to move that down there for a second. And then we're going to look for a paw background, and we're going to look in graphics. So there's lots of different backgrounds. I kind of wanted a circle actually, just so I can put my text in it. Let's see what it does. Maybe we should get rid of the word background. Yeah. Okay. So kind of like that one. And again, if you just get into the habit of clicking the free, because sometimes you forget and then it's like, oh no, I'm after using a, which isn't a big deal, but you do have to pay for each image then if you don't have the Canva Pro version. So that's kind of cute. Okay. And then we're just going to put some text in here. So it depends what kind of pet rules you have. These are, I mean, completely made up, obviously. I got, again, ChatGPT to just come up with some different kind of pet rules, which are no pets in the bedrooms, pick up waste, dogs on a lead while walking, and please clean bowls before leaving. So just make this bigger. Just going to put this in the center, and then we're just going to have one single paw print. And we'll just put that in the middle between those. And again, we're just going to say thanks. So as I say, you might allow, you might not allow, and most pets, a bit controversial maybe, but most pets are dogs. So, but you know, like you might have your cat with you, maybe, I don't know what kind of animal might be on holidays with you, but most are dogs, I suppose. And you know, so whatever rules that you have for your property, make sure if you're allowing pets that you have your little sign up. So we're going to duplicate again, and this is page 7. So this is the 7th sign we've done, and we're only at it like maybe 10 minutes. So it's pretty good. Like you can really knock these signs out really quickly. So I'm just going to make that 0. And this one I'm going to change to house rules. So I'm just going to widen that so it's on the one line. We're going to get rid of the paw prints and rid of the paw. And we're just going to duplicate that because we're going to have 2 different text boxes. So it depends what kind of tack that you want to go with. I've got ChatGPT to say, you know, like what do you put as an intro to house rules, and the one that it came up with was quite stern. So I mean, these people are on holidays and they are in your house, so you don't want them to be like, ooh. So this is the one I said, yeah, less formal. So so it says, hey there, just a heads up, we've got a few simple house rules to help everyone have a great time here. I think it's important that you certainly have some house rules in place, but as I say, that could be much more formal. It's like, you know, it all depends on what you decide for your property. And these are the rules that I thought were most important. But as I say, like we've just done a pet sign, and so now we're saying no pets, so it obviously depends on your house. So we're just going to change this to alignment to the left, and I'm just going to bullet them actually. So I just need to delete that, and we're just going to increase the size of it. So no pets, no smoking, no parties, and quiet time after 10:30. This is especially, obviously, if you live in a residential area, you don't want like an all-night party, but you don't want people like outside making lots of noise either, because the last thing you want to do is annoy your neighbours. Okay, and that's another one done. So duplicate page again. And the next one we're going to do is things to do. So things to do. So this is kind of nice if everyone has Google and everyone has places of interest and whatever, but it's sometimes nice when you go somewhere and they've already recommended stuff. If they're from that area or that locale, they're going to know exactly what are the best things to go and see, or the places to eat, the best coffee. So it's good to people. It's good to give people a bit of information. So we're just going to change all of this text to experience, and then you put in the name of your location, like a local, insider tips, and hidden gems await. So we're just going to delete this And we're going to delete this. And then we are going to add a text box. Again, you can either add a text box or hit T. And this one, we're going to call this one food. And then we're just going to duplicate. And we're going to call this one things to see. And then we are going to click on elements and we're going to click on all. We're just going to get rid of the pole. And we're just going to add a line under each of them. I'm just going to reduce it back. If you hold shift, it'll keep in a straight line. I'm just going to duplicate that. I'm just going to sit it on top of it and then hold shift and move it all the way to the other side. Again, hold shift and just increase the size of it. And then we're going to add a text box. And we're going to say best for coffee. We're just going to make that bold. And we're going to duplicate it. And we're going to say address. And we're going to take the bold off. We're going to select both of them. If you hold your mouse and run your cursor over it. Okay. So then we're just going to copy that. And we're going to just have a bit of a gap. And then we're going to duplicate it. And duplicate again. So this one is going to be best for dinner. And this one is best for brunch. Again, you can put whatever it is. You know, there might be the best smoothie juice bar for 200 miles. So, you know, in your town. So make sure you put that in. And then we're gonna have takeout. Best for takeout because sometimes people like to have takeout even though they're away. And then we're just going to do one more. That one is slightly off. There we go. Just because that word is centered. And then this one is best for groceries. So, you know, not everyone who's goes on holidays is going to eat out every night. They might want to cook. So we've coffee, dinner, brunch, takeout, groceries, which is a pretty good list, I think. But as I say, you can put whatever it is you like in there. And then we're going to group all of them and we're going to duplicate it. It's going to sit one on top of the other. And then we're going to hold shift and going to bring the whole thing over to the other side. And then this side, we're just going to have local hotspot. So because obviously this is different for every area. So just going to copy, paste. It's the box that takes the alignment, so that's why it keeps jumping to the center. So don't think that you're losing your mind. You're not. So yeah, so I mean there might be loads of hotspots, there might be hardly any hotspots, but I mean everywhere has something that to do or to see, whether it be the beach or place to surf or best place for a hike or museums, landmarks, everywhere has something. So then we're just going to duplicate this and just going to make it smaller, centered, and just in this I'm just going to say more info and menus available in the kitchen drawer. So again, this is obviously up to you whether you want to do this, but it's sometimes worth going around like all the like local restaurants, especially if they're like takeout, if they have takeout menu, to to avail of the free menus, and just so they have a bit of choice. And when they arrive, they might arrive late and they might just not want to go out the first night, and any kind of information that's available on landmarks or whatever. It's nice to have. It shows a kind of bit of an extra added touch, so to speak. And then we're going to duplicate page again. And the next one we're going to do is checkout. This is obviously you want people to do certain things before they leave. So this is just a kind of a little reminder. You could have it in, in the bedroom, or, wherever you think that they're going to be packing up to go. So we're just going to change the top one to checkout, and then we are going to change this to, so just going to move that to the next line. We hope you had a super time. And then we're just going to delete these. Just going to move that down there for a sec. And we're just going to delete this. And then we duplicate our scripty. And we're going to say, before you leave, please check the following. And obviously that is enormous. So we're just going to make it, about 30. So it's a good idea to have this in place, because otherwise if they forget something, like say they've left a jacket in a closet or something, well then you're going to have to post that to them or mail it to them, and so that's, it just generates extra work for yourself. So then again, I just went to ChatGPT and I just got them to do up a list of things that might need to be done before somebody leaves a property, and this is what they came up with. We're just going to left align it all and move it in slightly from the side, and we might just make it a little smaller. So like things like, obviously you can have whatever you like here, and you can change them, check for forgotten items, clean dishes, dispose of trash, secure windows and doors, turn off lights and appliances, return keys or fobs, and share feedback, which, maybe that needs to be the first thing, because you want people to come and stay again and you want them to have had a positive experience. But it's up to yourself what you put in that list. So I'm just going to delete that, and I'm just going to duplicate this. And again, we're just going to write thank you. And we're just going to increase the size of it to 40. So now we're just going to duplicate page. This is the last one that I'm going to do, and this is basically a one sign fits all. So instead of having individual signs all over the property, you can just have one on your entrance hall. So again, we're going to change this to just welcome. And this is going to say, so it's a bit like the first one that we did. To our home. And then we're going to change this one to Wi-Fi. Just going to move that over to there. Just going to delete this. And then we're going to duplicate this. Just want it to be on the same line. Hold shift and bring it over. This one is going to say host, and then once again we're going to duplicate, bring it onto the same line, hold shift and bring it over, and this one is going to say location. And then we're going to go back. If you just drop down to the grid, we're going to go to the Wi-Fi, and we're going to copy. These. But obviously, if you haven't done all of them, you're going to have to just go and search for the Wi-Fi symbol. So we're just going to paste. So you can either Control V or you can right click and paste. So we're just going to make this much smaller. I'm going to put that in there. And then this and this we're going to make much smaller as well. And like so. And then we are going to search for just a phone symbol. Phone icon, yeah. And in graphics. And again, we're going to go for the free version. And I think I might go for this one, or you could go for a cell phone icon either, but sure, a phone is a phone, isn't it? And everyone knows what that means. And then we're just going to duplicate this, and we're just going to have name and cell number. Just going to make them a bit wider so it goes onto the one line. And then we are going to have a pin drop. And we'll go for this one. So obviously your guests know where they are because they got there, but just it's sometimes good to give a pin drop so they know where they are in relation to other stuff, you know, like how far away they are from the local coffee shop or restaurant or whatever. So it's handy for them to have that. So 1, 2, 3, any street, anywhere. So obviously you change that to whatever your location is. And then here we're just going to copy this Wi-Fi and we're going to bring it down here and we're going to make this the house rules. I'm going to duplicate this, and again we're going to go back to our grid and we're going to go to house rules, and I'm just going to copy these two. So just right click, copy, and then back to page 10. And then we are going to paste. And we're just going to reduce them down. Probably didn't need that actually. So just going to put that under there, and we're just going to change it to left aligned. So your rules are probably pretty important. So if you're only having one sign, I would make them kind of the main part of your sign, just so your house is still in one piece when you come back to it. So, and then we're just going to put a suitcase maybe just to fill out that kind of corner. I think we'll go for this one, but I'm going to make it grey just so it's not so in your face. That's a bit light actually, so we're just going to go a bit darker. That's probably okay. And then at the bottom, I'm just going to move that up slightly. And I'm just going to duplicate this script and center it at the bottom. And I'm just going to say thanks for coming to stay. We hope you have a super time. So we're just going to reduce that down, bring it out. And then we're going to duplicate this. And we're just going to say, if you have any questions, just text and we'll be glad to help, or you know, we'll be more than willing to see what we can do. And we're just going to center that. So kind of it's a all-in-one sign. Kind of gives all the kind of basic information that they need in order to enjoy their visit. So the only thing obviously that it doesn't, one of the main things it doesn't have is like things to do in the area, but you've given your location pin. So there's 10 signs, and you can be up and running down at that print shop before you know it. So the only thing I would say is that if you are going to put backgrounds and stuff on it, of course you can. And I'll just go back to one that doesn't have very much text. So say we were going to put a background on this of, say, like floral or something, floral background. And we'll just pick one that's free again. So this one, for example, you could have a background on it and position it to the back. And then in order to actually read what's on your sign, we can just click on a shape and we can make that shape white and position backwards. So, and we need to just send it back again, sorry. You can look on your layers. So we want the white in front of the floral but behind everything else. So like, of course it's going to make it more interesting, and you know, as I say, it depends where you are. You could have like welcome to the beach or welcome to the, but if you're printing these yourself, lots of home printers have an automatic white border on them. So, and then it's like, is it in the middle? And so this side is thicker than this side, and it can get a bit messy and you'd be pulling your hair out before you know it. So I think much classier without. Do you know, it's really clear. It says what it does on the tin. It's really good for it to be just black and white, but as I say, it's total personal choice, and if you wanted to add colour, of course add colour. The other thing that I would add is if you have a logo for your property, be it a picture of your house, or maybe you call yourself something very specific online, well then definitely add that. I can just add, if I add a frame, and we could have this here like this, and as I say, that could be either a picture of you or a picture of your home. So home by the sea, for example, and we're looking for photographs, and like say for example that this is your home, which would be amazing. So, you know, you can have, like, as I say, you can make that into a logo, and you can put it on all of your signs. But then, as I say, then it becomes color. So you could make this image black and white. So you could edit photo and just change it to a duotone and make it a custom black and white. And then it wouldn't cost you as much or whatever when you go to print it. But as I say, if I just show you the grid, we have 10 signs, 10 templates. As I say, if you want to, if you don't think that you'll be able to manage these signs on your own, or you just haven't got the time, which lots of us don't, just click on the Canva template link below in the description. If you've learned something new today, please hit that like and subscribe.